My sister and parents told me firmly, "You can't stay here anymore. Please leave the place where you work from home. You're just depending on us." They didn't want me and my dog around anymore. I felt like they were finished talking about it. I answered, "If that's how you feel, then I'll do what I want," already thinking about my next moves. Let me tell you about myself. I'm Le, a 41-year-old woman who works as a freelance web designer. I can work from anywhere because of the internet and my home office setup. I like having my own space and being able to choose my own schedule. But things changed 5 years ago when my parents showed up at my house without warning. When they arrived, they started looking around and hinted at big changes. "Your house is big, Lisa," my mom said, glancing around. "It seems like we could live here too, especially with that spare room," my dad added. They seemed to think they could move in with me without even asking. But I never wanted to live with them, and I told them so. "Wait a minute. I don't want to live with you," I said, surprised by their suggestion. "What are you even talking about?" My dad got really mad and snapped back at me. "You've basically taken control of this house, claiming it was from your Uncle Michael, and now you're acting like it's yours. You're sinking pretty low." I tried to explain the truth, saying, "I didn't just take it. I talked to Uncle Michael, and he agreed to give it to me." But my parents were already set on moving in. They said, "Our old house is falling apart, and we can't stay there anymore." Since my mom didn't work and my dad's job didn't pay enough for big repairs, they felt like they had no choice but to move into the house Uncle Michael left me. I felt stuck because I didn't want to leave my parents with nowhere to go, so I reluctantly let them move in. But once they were settled, they started making snarky comments. They teased me saying, "Hey, Lisa, you're in your 40s now. When are you going to settle down?" They always brought up my single status. I'd tell them I love my job and I'm happy with my life. But they and others kept worrying about my love life, thinking I should do what my sister did and get married. But my sister's married life wasn't all smooth sailing either. Still, I wasn't bothered by their comments. I kept telling them that I'm happy with how things are. But one time, my mom overheard our conversation and jumped in. "Don't talk about your sister like that. She's married and has a stable job," she interrupted. I defended myself, saying, "I might not be married, but I have a good job too." But my mom didn't buy it. She kept criticizing me, saying, "You're always on your computer. Are you even making money legally?" I stood my ground, saying, "I earn my money honestly through my work. You don't need to worry." My mom didn't like my answer and scolded me, saying, "How dare you talk back to me? You're nothing like your sister." Being compared to my sister by our parents was something I was used to. She worked in an office temporarily while I chose to work from home. Even though I knew our parents might not understand working remotely, it still hurt to be put down all the time. One day, while I was cooking dinner, the doorbell rang unexpectedly. I was surprised to find my sister Carol there, carrying a lot of luggage. "Hey Carol, what's up?" "It's been a while," I said, surprised by her sudden visit. "I know it's sudden, but I'll be staying here from now on," Carol said urgently. I was confused and said, "Staying here?" "I didn't hear anything about this," Carol explained. "Didn't Mom and Dad tell you? I got divorced, so I'll be staying with you now." Even though I was shocked at first, I tried to be welcoming and didn't show my surprise. Carol went upstairs and claimed an empty room as hers. My parents supported her, and I couldn't say anything against it. After that, my stress levels went up. Carol, since her divorce, had quit her job and spent her time gossiping about me with our mom. "Mom, do you like this dress?" Carol would ask, showing off something she bought. "Oh, it's lovely, Carol. You look so pretty," Mom would say. Then Carol would turn to me and say, "What do you think? It's not something Lisa would wear, right?" They kept watching me closely and saying mean things, but I chose not to let it bother me. Even though I wanted to snap back at them, I didn't. I realized that if I reacted to their mean words, it would only make things worse. So I stayed strong and didn't let their teasing get to me. One day, I decided to focus on my own happiness no matter what others said. Then something amazing happened. My close friend got 4 cute puppies. This changed everything for me. When I saw those adorable pups, I instantly fell in love. I thought carefully and decided to adopt a tiny black Chihuahua from the litter. I named him Charlie. Charlie was full of energy and mischief, with big, shiny eyes and a tail that wagged like crazy whenever he saw me. I had always wanted a Chihuahua, and having Charlie with me brought so much joy, especially since I often worked from home. His company made my days much brighter. I'm calling you Charlie from now on, okay? Woof, I told him, sealing our bond. I was so excited about bringing Charlie home that I didn't talk to my family about it. But it was my house, and I was the one taking care of Charlie, so I didn't think they would mind. When I introduced Charlie to my family, my parents and sister Carol weren't happy. They hadn't known I was planning to get a dog, and they didn't like the idea of potential dog smells in the house. They made it clear they weren't pleased. We had no idea you were getting a dog, they said. Don't dogs smell? I hate bad smells, someone added. Lisa, how could you bring a dog home without talking to us first? They scolded me. Despite their complaints, I stood my ground. It's my house, and I felt Charlie and I needed each other. Having him here makes me happy, and that's what matters, I said firmly. I hoped they'd soon see Charlie the way I did. I explained that Charlie wasn't just any dog, he was a gift from a friend. Plus, I was the one paying for everything Charlie needed, so they didn't really have a reason to complain. What I choose to have in my house is my choice. I added firmly, if you're not happy, you're welcome to leave. At first, they were clearly annoyed and upset. But within a few hours, something amazing happened. Charlie's cuteness won them over completely. They couldn't stop playing with him, saying things like, "Aren't you adorable? Are you moms, dads, or sissies? Look over here, sweetie." It was like their frustration had vanished. My whole family fell in love with Charlie, and his presence changed their attitudes completely. From then on, our house was filled with love for Charlie. Because of him, the tension between me and my family eased, and we had peaceful days together. But as life goes, something happened that disturbed our peace. While I was out running an errand, my sister Carol called me urgently. She sounded upset and said, "Come home now." Surprised by her urgency, I asked her what was wrong. She angrily explained over the phone. "It's not what happened, it's what Charlie did. He peed on my clothes. What if they smell?" I tried to reassure her, saying just wash them quickly, and they'll be fine. Plus, isn't it your fault for leaving your clothes on the floor? Carol shot back, "What? It's my fault. It's your lack of training that's the problem." I sighed, realizing it was a small issue. "Calm down, Carol. Charlie is still a puppy. If you take him for a walk, he won't go in the house." "Weren't you planning to walk him today? Did you actually do it?" I had planned to take Charlie for a walk later that day, but I didn't realize it would cause such chaos in my family. The problem was that I hadn't properly trained Charlie, our beloved dog, and now we were facing the consequences. When I got home, I could feel the tension in the air. My sister Carol was clearly angry and immediately confronted me. She had already told our parents about what happened, and they were also looking at me with disapproval as Carol's clothes lay on the floor, stained. Carol, upset, threw the dirty clothes at me. "You're paying for the cleaning," she said angrily. "Why should I pay?" I argued. "You didn't take him for a walk and left your clothes all over the floor." My parents quickly joined in, urging me to take responsibility. "Lisa, shouldn't you apologize to Carol?" they suggested. "This mess happened because of Charlie." As they continued blaming me, I couldn't help but defend Charlie. "Can't we cut Charlie some slack? Puppies make mistakes just like babies," I argued. But my family was set on blaming both me and Charlie. "This is all because of that dumb dog," my sister snapped again. "Lisa, you're lucky you didn't get married. You probably couldn't even raise a kid properly." Her words stung, and I grew frustrated. "How can you say that?" I protested. "If you had taken him for walks and kept the house clean, none of this would have happened." My sister had had enough. She pointed at me and said, "I'm done with this." Things had gone from a simple pet accident to personal attacks, showing there were bigger issues within our family. Despite the tension, I knew it was important to stay calm and talk things through, focusing on training Charlie and improving communication within our family. Her words hit me hard. "What?" I said, shocked. "Did you really just say that?" I'm standing my ground, my sister said firmly. "We don't need someone like you here, wrecking our home," she continued, her words cutting deep, especially since she knew I didn't have a job at the moment. I was stunned. Didn't they realize I was the one paying the bills? As I stood there, shocked by my sister's hurtful words, even my parents sided with her. "You should leave, Lisa. Your presence only makes things worse," they said, echoing her sentiments. I couldn't take it anymore. "You're all bringing bad luck. Just go," we all shouted together, the tension thick in the air. "That's it. I've had enough, I finally said. If this is how it's going to be, fine. With that, I took charge. I quickly packed my things and left the house with Charlie wrapped in a towel. Revenge crossed my mind, but I knew this wasn't the end. A few days later, as I expected, my sister called me in a panic. Lisa, help. What's going on with the house? She asked, sounding anxious. Intrigued by this new development in our family drama, I asked, what happened? Why do we have to leave all of a sudden? We've been told to leave by the end of this month, she said, sounding stressed. It hit me hard, and I couldn't help but wonder if this was a lesson for my family about being more compassionate and understanding. Why do we have to leave all of a sudden? Carol asked, her voice shaking with confusion. I've decided to sell the house, I told her firmly. Carol froze, clearly shocked. You can't do that. It's not your decision, she said, trying to process what I'd just said. The house officially became mine a month ago. I revealed, a fact I hadn't shared until now. Uncle Michael gave it to me, and the title is in my name. You're joking, right? Carol's disbelief was clear. Even if Uncle Michael transferred the title to you, you can't just sell the house like that. I get your concern, I said, trying to reassure her. But after you told me to leave, I talked to Uncle Michael. He confirmed that the house is mine now, Carol. He told me to do what I think is best and suggested I distance myself from the family as soon as possible. Carol was shocked, struggling to process this news. Seriously, she muttered. As we talked, I suspected my parents might be listening in on the conversation. Sure enough, they soon chimed in. Come on, Lisa, think about what you're doing. We have nowhere else to go, they said, trying to appeal to my sense of family loyalty. You can't do this to your own family. If you're a good daughter, you'll respect your parents, they added, their tone quiet but firm. Respect? What are you even talking about? You've always favored Carol over me. And who do you think has been supporting you for the past few years? You had nowhere else to go, so I reluctantly let you stay with me. I fired back, my frustration boiling over. My parents were stunned into silence by my strong response. Without waiting for them to say anything, I thought about what my decision meant, ready to set the boundaries that were long overdue. Who treated me and Charlie like unwanted guests and kicked us out. You did, didn't you? Trying to kick out the original resident is shameless. My father